Best IPL Photofacial machines? I am interested in the IPL Photofacial to help remove the permanent redness, broken capillaries on my face. However, I want to make sure I go somewhere that uses good machines. Do you have any suggestions for which machines would be best or what to look for in a machine's capabilities? Thank you.
Thank you for your question. You've submitted a question without a photo, and essentially you're asking in your question that you're concerned about vessels on the face and that you want to find a place that has good machines, and you are considering IPL and you want to make sure the place has good machines. Well, I can certainly give you some guidance on how to make this type of decision for laser treatment for vessels on the face. It's a problem that we deal with in our practice as part of the many services we offer. A little bit of background. I'm a board-certified cosmetic surgeon and fellowship-trained oculofacial plastic and reconstructive surgeon. I've been in practice in Manhattan and Long Island for over 20 years. Both my offices, we have a range of thermal energy devices, lasers, and pulse light devices, amongst many other technologies for various Medi-Spot type treatments for problems such as vessels on the face. So what you are certainly focused on is the machine. And I think that it's very important to not focus on the machine, but rather focus on the practitioner. And I'll explain further. The industry of lasers and devices is very, very strategic in creating consumer demand and interest. It is very much out of the same playbook as the pharmaceutical companies. They bring to the consumer the type of flashy new products that they message to the point where it becomes a brand name, and then people start asking their doctors if they have that machine. So the star of the show is actually the machine. Now, these devices evolve over years, and but the principles still are critically important. So, from my perspective, and in terms of the devices that I use, in our office, we've had many generations of IPL or pulse light machines. And IPL stands for intense pulse light. And what it means is there are multiple wavelengths that can be selected through filters that, when applied to the skin with certain protocols such as cooling the skin, etc., you deliver a certain amount of energy into the skin. And the goal is, the target is the blood vessel, and specifically it's the blood or the hemoglobin in the blood. And so when you understand that principle, well, there's a wide array of choices that can serve this particular purpose. So how does one decide what is the best choice? Well, I would say that in our practice, we regularly, like computers, we upgrade our devices. The devices become more efficient and become more advanced in terms of protocol. So when you think about, from my experience, IPL, the multiple wavelengths and the challenge of being selective, for me, puts IPL as a second to different lasers that we have in our practice. And there are lasers that are such as the 1064 YAG laser that is it's a wavelength, but it has, between several devices, we can use it in so many ways. And from my perspective, the goal is to make sure that the minimal amount of energy or heat is delivered to the skin, the maximal amount of absorption occurs, and the risks of any unnecessary redness, inflammation is minimized. And at the same time, we want to get great results and we want to maximize safety. So, that being said, there is a lot of judgment. Although there are certain standard protocols which are starting points when using these devices, experienced physicians are able to work with those protocols because we realize that of course there's a wide range of practitioners, particularly like in the state of New York where there is no specific licensure that limits who can do lasers. So everybody from non-physicians to physicians perform laser procedures. However, I would argue that the experienced physician understands this physiology and the principles so that they can be a little bit more adept and flexible. Now, of course, experience is critically important, and I'm not saying that all non-physicians are not capable, but I would say that when you're doing your research, don't just focus on the machine, and I would say be evaluated by a physician who performs these procedures, who will be very much involved in your treatment. I think that's really, really important. I think that we understate the significance of these medical devices, and because there are all of these strip mall medi-spas around, that people don't take the technology of laser and the impact on the skin as seriously. Plus, I find that when we see a lot of patients, they often are frustrated because they feel like they bought packages and didn't quite get what they wanted. Well, here's a basic principle about vessels that you have to understand. Vessels, when they are treated, can respond by closing and diminishing, or they can respond by creating more vessels. And so typically a protocol that involves treating vessels can include a protocol where a person comes in once a month for several sessions until we reach a certain plateau, and then comes in periodically, let's say every 6 months or so, for some kind of maintenance. That is management. So certainly I think it's imperative that the physician have state-of-the-art technology. But I think it's also very important for the individual, for the person who is looking for treatment, to really find a physician to provide the guidance as to what is optimal for them. We have a lot of options, and we certainly want to use really good judgment to get the best results and to be able to have a dialogue where the patient understands what the limitations are. And certainly there are a lot of choices. There's everything from pulse light, different wavelengths of lasers. There's even just traditional electrocautery using a wire of radio frequency that can also do the same type of accomplish similar results. Again, the goal is to make it as comfortable and as safe and as predictable and optimal for every patient. So I tend to, instead of just jumping on the word IPL, because there's many, many different IPL devices, but meet with a doctor who can give you guidance on what would work best for you. So I hope that was helpful. I wish you the best of luck, and thank you for your question.